Teysa, Orzhov Scion versus Gaddock Teeg, and if we get into a coloured source to activate that Fetid Heath, then we could get into a pretty quick Elspeth Knight Errant and some card draw. This is actually a pretty good hand. I'm going to risk it. We are on the draw, so we have a little bit of time, another draw or two. And our opponent's playing a slow land there, so that is really good for us. Hoping that they reprint Gaddock Teeg soon because it's pretty expensive. Non-creature spells with converted mana cost 4 or greater can't be cast, and non-creature spells with X in their mana cost can't be cast. It's a 2/2 for 2 mana, and we get into that coloured mana we need, so that is really good. We'll just get that down, pass over to our opponent, and then we can go over Teysa, Orzhov Scion, sacrifice 3 white creatures to exile a creature, and whenever another black creature you control dies, we get a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. It's a 2/3 for 3 mana. I'm probably going to see Gaddock Teeg here. So I think we'll obviously have to hold off on the Elspeth. But we can get down that Bitter Blossom, that is nice. So once we get into another land, we'll go for... It'll have to be a white land as well. Oh no, it could be black, thanks to Fetid Heath. Yeah. We'll go for the Path to Exile into Elspeth and force our opponent to recast the Gaddock Teeg. Gaddock it tends to be creature based, of course, because it cares about making your opponents cast non-creature spells. And yeah, speaking of which, that is under 4 mana, so they get our Bitter Blossom off straight away. And you can make pretty competitive builds out of Gaddock Teeg, which we might be seeing this game. We get into a white source, which is good. Why don't we see what we get off the Night's Whisper? And then we'll probably just play Windbrisk Heights. Yes, we will play Windbrisk Heights, and that is a hideaway card. That, oh, what a shame to hide Ophiomancer under that. Ophiomancer, one of my favourite creature cards, really like it, and I have this kind of romantic idea that I want to get it out with, what is it called, Divine Visitation, the new enchantment, 5 mana enchantment mythic, and whenever a creature token, I think it is, comes into play under your control, it enters as a 4/4 angel with flying and vigilance, a Sarah angel basically. And what that would mean with Ophiomancer is that it would throw out a snake token every turn, but it would enter as an angel, and that would be literally every upkeep that would happen. So you would just get angels for days. And our opponent, let me just have a look at this, has got down a Willow Satyr, 1/1 for 4 mana. You can choose not to untap it, gain control of a target legendary creature for as long as it remains tapped. That is, yeah, that is breaking the colour pie left, right and centre, isn't it? So we'll go for Path to Exile. And it is creature, isn't it? Gains control of a legendary creature. I don't want them taking control of our legendary planeswalker. So what we're going to do... I don't suppose it has to be on the upkeep, does it? I was going to Path to Exile on our upkeep, but we don't actually have to do that. I think, actually... Oh, we can't do Gilded Lotus, can we? Because it's non-creature spells, CMC 4 or greater. No, we cannot. So we'll just go with our original plan, which is Path. And they'll be able to get out the Gaddock Teeg straight away, especially if they get a basic out, which I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to get a forest. Which they do, of course. And then we go into double white. And yes, double white, please. And then we go into Elspeth. And we just start throwing out soldier tokens and hope that our opponent can't do anything about that for the rest of the game. But yeah, this is what we want to do. We want to get out a lot of tokens. This is more of a token build. We have black and white tokens in here. The white can obviously be used for Teysa immediately, but the black ones can be sacrificed to other effects like Skull Clamp. And then once we kill those black creatures and creature tokens, then Teysa will give us a white spirit, and we can use those to exile our opponent's creatures. So there's, for instance, we can sacrifice Archon of Justice with Teysa and exile something else as well as the creature that Teysa targets. And we will be able to cast Archon of Justice, which is really good for us. I'm not sure what we want to do next turn though. We can take this stop off the upkeep, we don't need it. Well, a Plains is very nice for us. Could do with getting into some black, because if they get rid of Fetid Heath, then we're going to struggle. We have 4, 5, 6 mana. Unfortunately, Sun Titan, if that could grab a fetch for us, that would be really good. But it can't. Earthcraft is worrying. There's some infinite combos with Earthcraft. I think we can... I don't want to exile this and then in response our opponent... Yeah, I don't know if it works like that. You may choose not to untap it. You gain control of it for as long as it remains tapped. Yeah, so I don't want them to permanently take something away from us. Why don't we just... Archon of Justice. And then next turn maybe we can get down a Windbrisk Heights. That will mean that we need to attack with 3 or more creatures. So I don't know if we will do that or not. But we can pretend to hold up a Swords to Plowshares now. And I doubt our opponent is going to swing into an Archon. Be intrigued to see what they have in hand though. They do have 3 cards now in hand. And Earthcraft is tap an untapped creature you control to untap a basic. One of the cards in hand was a basic land. And Mother of Runes is... yeah, another really good card. They only have 1 in hand now, and if you want to get rid of Mother of Runes, you really have to do it before the Summoning Sickness wears off. Okay, Swamp is another great card for us. We could go for an Austere Command and get rid of creatures that are 2 or less. Let's see how long this lasts for the rest of the turn. Yeah. Okay, well we'll swing in with everything and hope that they don't have a heroic intervention for the Austere Command, but I just have to swing through with all these now because I want to trigger the Windbrisk Heights. Oh, but we won't be able to if we Austere Command, of course. Yeah, that's... Alright, well... we only lose a token. I think we still go for Windbrisk Heights here. We'll get out a token. And we will go on to get ourselves an Ophiomancer. And that will get us more tokens at the beginning of every upkeep. And that is one less thing for them to swing into. I think we'll get out our commander as well. Because, in fact, why don't we pretend to hold up white mana? Yes, I want to use the only black mana in the pool. Yeah, we'll get out Teysa. They are going to take it from us, but we can Anguished Unmaking next turn. And actually, we could just kill this thing in response. So, I don't think that would... Actually, I'm glad they did that, because actually now I'm thinking I want to get rid of Mother of Runes. Yeah, okay, I'm glad they've done that at the end of our turn. We'll go... Let me just make sure I'm doing that correctly. Forgot all about Mother of Runes. That is... choose a creature to exile, and then 1, 2, and 3. And then we can exile, and I really hope that this works the way I think it does. Yeah, I'm going to exile that, and I don't think they get our commander permanently. But we'll soon find out. Right, so we get rid of some of their creatures, and this should fizzle. Yes, it does. It works the way I think it does. Some creatures, when they do things like that, not Banish a Priest, but there's another one that came out before Banish a Priest, and I think Oblivion Ring does it as well, where if you get rid of the O-Ring before the exile effect resolves, there's some cards that do this anyway, not necessarily the ones I mentioned, I might be misremembering, but it effectively exiles them permanently, and yeah, I didn't want that to happen to us there, but luckily it didn't. And Elspeth has a limit break of 8, so next turn we should be able to get that off. The limit break is we get an emblem, artifacts, creatures, enchantments and lands have indestructible for us. And I think we can... yeah, there's no sense to go for Sun Titan really. Although it would make good use of our mana. How much mana do we have? 1, 2 and 3, and then that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's nothing else we could... once we get into another mana, I might just save the Anguished Unmaking for during our opponent's turn. And then I can get rid of the Gaddock Teeg at the end of their turn. And then we can get into things like Gilded Lotus if we want to. Nothing stopping us going for the Sun Titan apart from the fact that it has nothing in the graveyard to target. Findhorn Elves is fine, not worried about that. I'm a little bit worried about the Earthcraft though. There are some, as I say, there are some infinite combos with that. So I'll just have to hope our opponent doesn't get into those. And we go now for Anguished Unmaking onto Gaddock Teeg, so they will have to spend 6 mana next turn to get that back out. And I'm assuming that they don't have Heroic Intervention in hand, seeing as how they aren't using it. We'll be greedy and tick up Elspeth so that we can get the limit break next turn and keep her alive. I think we just want to... we'll have to watch our life total now, I think. But we can go for our Gilded Lotus while we still can. And yeah, we can actually swing in with... I'll just go in with Teysa, the Ophiomancer and the Soldier, and we'll hold back a couple of tokens just in case. And Utter End we won't be able to cast either once Gaddock Teeg comes out. So might have to go for that Earthcraft that I'm worried about. Our opponent still only has the 1 card in hand, and I wonder if they've been saving it. Okay, Lifecrafter's Bestiary is really nice for them. I think I'll just get rid of the Bestiary. They can get Gaddock Teeg out now if I'm remembering correctly. Well, there's nothing else for them to go for, so I assume that's it. And before it enters, and they can't pay the green. Oh, they can pay the green, because I forgot about these 2 mana dorks. Well, in response, we're going to go for Utter End onto the Lifecrafter's Bestiary, because we won't be able to do that as soon as Gaddock Teeg comes out. They will get a card draw. But hopefully that is them continuing to be in top deck mode. And hopefully for us, they don't get into anything superb. Viscera Seer is good. That means that we can sack a snake token every turn to scry and get a white spirit. We'll go for this emblem now while we still can. So now everything we have is indestructible. Viscera Seer is actually something to get back with the Sun Titan as well. So why don't we go for a free scry and a couple of free scries. We'll see what we get off the snake first. Actually, why don't we... yeah, we'll kill the snake. We won't swing in with it yet because I tapped the mana incorrectly. So we get our spirit token there. And, ooh, Divine Visitation. I have to take full advantage of that. So that means we'll just go for the Sun Titan. No, because if it gets wiped, I really don't want to see a board wipe. So we'll just leave that for now. Yeah, we'll just leave it for now. I won't get too greedy. And we can swing in with our Ophiomancer and our Teysa. And we'll go in with the 2 indestructible tokens as well. Start getting a bit more damage in on our opponent. Divine Visitation is on top. That is the enchantment I was referring to before. And I really want to get that down with Ophiomancer and hope that our opponent doesn't scoop when they see that. We've kept Gaddock Teeg under control quite well, so they might not be having the best time of their life. Alright, going for a new Angel of their own. That is a 5 mana 3/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you can exile a non-land permanent an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Okay, and they can embalm it as well, so that is a great exile target for us. And I wonder what they're going for there. They're going for Teysa herself. So I think this is what I was talking about. I think if we do this in response, then I think I'm going to let that get exiled. I think if we do this in response, Teysa will get exiled permanently. Yeah, I'm going to kill Gaddock Teeg and go 1. In fact, why don't I do this? I'll kill the snake to get a spirit. And that can go back on top. Carefully put it on top. And then we'll go kill Gaddock Teeg. And then we will let Teysa get exiled by this angel. So that is exile instead of... Yeah, so this way we can austere command if we want to. We'll be able to go for creatures that are 5 and up and enchantments. And that will get rid of their things. But first off, I want to go for this enchantment of ours that we're about to draw into. An interaction I've been thinking about since I saw the spoiler on Mythic Spoilers for the what's it from? Guilds of Ravnica set. Go for all the white, and actually no, we need to stop going for the Ancient Tomb. Okay, now we can see what else is on top. We'll get rid of this snake token. And we have a Jitte, which I don't mind, so we can put that on top as well. We'll throw out a soldier, which will be transformed into a 4/4 Vigilance Angel, as we can see there, with really nice artwork. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have any mana, so we will just pass over to our opponent, and the creatures are indestructible also, of course, thanks to Elspeth. Everything's going to be indestructible from now on. We get an Ophiomancer trigger, which will trigger for the rest of the game as long as she's out, or as long as Divine Visitation and herself are on the field. The snakes are going to be turned into angels. We'll get another one at the beginning of our upkeep, because Ophiomancer is each upkeep. And the tokens, of course, are 0 CMC. So if we go for Austere Command next turn... Oh, Eladamri's Call is always a worry. I don't know if they can... They might be going for an Elesh Norn or something like that. That is 7 mana, I think, which they do have. Elesh Norn won't get rid of our angels, but it will make them worse. But it doesn't really matter because they're indestructible. So we can just block with those for as long as we want. And if they go for Elesh Norn, then we can definitely austere command next turn. Because Gaddock Teeg won't be on the field. I think that will cost 8 to get back out now. I think so. For all the different tokens and everything that they put into Magic Online, the one thing that they perhaps should have done was put the command attacks counters onto commanders, so you can keep better track of that. The new tokens, the new counters that they've put on everything are really nice. It'd be great if they could do that as well. And did we see what our opponent went for? They went for Crater Hoof. That might do it. That'll be +4/+4 to everything. That'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then +9, what's that? 21. Well, we'll soon find out. Perhaps shouldn't have gone for it. I mean, even if I lose, we got into the Divine Visitation interaction, which is exactly what I wanted to do. All these have trample, so if it's 21 damage, we can block 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of it. That is... yeah, well, why don't we just see? We'll go for nothing because we don't have anything left. Right, so we can kill that. That's 9, 14, 18, 17, 16, 14. Yeah, I think they have us here. That'll be 2 going through, 6, and yeah, I think they've got us no matter what we do here. So good for our opponent. As I say, should have gone for the austere command last turn, but I really wanted to get into the Divine Visitation. So, as I said at the beginning of the game, Gaddock Teeg can be a really competitive commander, and yeah, we've just seen it there. Oh, we got down to, yeah, -1 only. We did get back our commander there. Obviously, it doesn't matter. We would have gone for austere command next turn, gotten rid of this angel and the Earthcraft, and then gotten into our commander and attempted to take over the game from there. Perhaps if we hadn't used some Ancient Tomb triggers, Ancient Tomb mana taps, then perhaps we could have stayed in that. Sometimes you have to be really careful. It can only take 1 or 2 life for the game to end in your opponent's favour. But anyway, we got to see the new enchantment with Ophiomancer, which is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, or since Guilds of Ravnica came out a week or 2 ago, so I'm really pleased with that. Good play to our Gaddock Teeg opponent, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.